Hello, my name is Catalina Rojas, and this is my video for Hito 3. First, I'm going to be presenting my school. I did my professional practice at Colegio La Providencia de Concepción. This is located in the heart of downtown. It's located between Barros Arana and O'Higgins. The school is only minutes away from the Hospital Regional de Concepción and also only minutes away from the University of Concepción. There are also a variety of commercial stores around, such as the mall and many restaurants. This is a Catholic school. It was founded in 1867 by 3 religious sisters. It is a private subsidized school and nowadays has more than 1,000 students and more than 100 employees. I work with a 9th grade for this unit plan, and this grade had 38 students, most of them with level A2 of English, but 4 to 5 of them has a B1. For the needs analysis, I conducted a survey through Google Classroom because this was the easiest way for me and the teacher to analyze the answers and for the students to answer. The main goal of the unit was to make the students read a whole book in English. And the teacher had told me before that he had never been able to accomplish this with other grades in the previous years. So I knew this was going to be a challenge. So I decided to ask them only about reading. Some of the questions that I had in this survey were what activities would make it easier for you to read a book in English, what are the concerns when reading in English, and I also let them a space for them to let me know anything else that they wanted me or the teacher to know. With the teacher's comments and seeing the students' reactions when I told them that they needed to read a whole book in English, it made me realize how important the needs analysis was. So yeah, after getting the result, I realized that not all of them had answered the survey, so I had little answers. So yeah, something that really surprised me was that they didn't want to read in groups, they wanted to read alone. And something else that surprised me a lot, that was that they wanted more didactic activities, but not any didactic activities. They wanted to dramatize a chapter book or something like that. And something that I really also wanted to accomplish was to read at least some chapters of the book as a group with the whole class. So yeah, that's the results I have. So the needs analysis helped me a lot when created the objectives of the classes and the lessons, but mostly the activities. As you can see, well, here are the unit aim and the lessons aims. I created 7 lessons for this unit, and I also used a little bit more of those. But what I wanted to create with these units, for the activities to create something like a scaffolding for them. And so we started with some low order thinking skills activities, and then we started to go to higher order thinking skills activities. I also implemented some activities that the students asked me to do in the survey. For example, we dramatized some of the chapters, and yeah, I also use a form of audiobook that was aligned with the books, and I also gave them the option to watch a video with cartoons that was not a summarize but a more fun way to understand the book. And also the book had many illustrations that helped the students to understand better the book. Well, according to adaptations, well, I knew that my activities needed to be almost entirely didactic in order for the student to be willing to read the book. So some of the adaptations that I did, as I mentioned before, was to listen the book, not only read, to watch the book with the cartoons of the video, not only read again, and we used a lot of the illustrations. And this was something that surprised me, because at the end the students told me like the illustrations of the book really helped me to understand better what the book was trying to say, because they didn't understand the whole book, but with the illustration it makes it way easier. So they let me know that. I also implemented technology. I use Kahoot, generally Padlet, among others, but I wanted to use this because with that the activities were going to be more meaningful for the students, because technology is a really important part of their lives. Well, adaptations such as the audiobook and the video option and the illustrations were designed and implemented to fulfill the different ways of learning of my students. Plus, the final project was still delivered in a variety of ways, and was intended to allow the students to demonstrate what they learned about the book through their creativity. So most of them choose to do a poster in which they explain the book, the plot of the book, they explain the characters and some settings. Although the information was meant to be the same for every group, each of them and each of the posters were different due to the creativity and the imagination of each one of the groups and what they understand from the book. Like each one of them represented this in a different way. The feedback was given during the whole process to the groups in spoken form during the different activities that were carried out every 3 to 4 chapters. This was, as I said before, delivered orally to each one of the groups, emphasizing the positive aspects and letting them know some aspect that they needed to improve. The needs analysis had the greatest impact in the way of the evaluation, the final evaluation that we had, and this was because the original plan was for them to present in front of the class, but we changed that because they let us know in a conversation that we had after the survey was taken that they were really anxious and nervous and stressed about presenting in front of the class. So we decided to present this in stands instead of them in front of the class. And this is how, well, we had a conversation. We, with the teacher, offer them this option for them to present in the stand, and with the teacher will go through each stand, so they wouldn't have to go in front of the class and the whole classroom would listen to them, not only me and the teacher. And they were really happy with that, and so that's how we finally evaluated this project. I think that the most cultural and linguistic consideration that I had when creating the unit were that the students were coming from an aftermath of the pandemic. So they had online classes, not all of them connected to the classes, and from the little that connected, even less students really paid attention to what was happening in the class. So this caused the level of English of the students to decrease. And when coming back from the pandemic, and one of the teachers told me that they weren't able to do their whole class in English again. So yeah, keeping in mind that most of the students were level A2 of English. Analyzing and identifying the needs of my students was a key factor in achieving the goal of getting the students to read the book, because this gave me ideas of what they wanted the activities to look like. So yes, this helped me a lot. Also, the teacher was really happy with this, because he told me like he never had gotten the students to read the whole book, so he was really happy with what I was doing, with actually achieving the goal that was for the students to read the book. But something that I would change in case I plan another unit like this one or similar to this one, is going to be to add more activities outside of the classroom, because I remember I did one activity outside of the classroom, and the students work in an extraordinary way. They were happier, they were more participative, and they were more engaged with the activity. The activity was really simple. I wrote some activities and questions in different paper colors, and I hide them in the playground. So once they went downstairs, they did something like a scavenger hunt, and they had to find 4 papers of different colors and answer the questions, and then they had to give them back to me. So yeah, during that activity, everything went really well. The students were really happy, and everything was perfect. Actually, they worked really well. And finally, to do like a close up this last semester during my professional practice, something that I remember the most was this connection that I created with the students. I never had such a connection with the students in previous practices, and this helped me a lot during my classes. Something else that I always will keep in mind is to not be 100% focused on just deliver information for the students and to keep going with your class. Sometimes what the students need is for you to stop the class and to listen to them, and that is also good, because at the end of the day, what matters is for the students to be okay, and stopping the class 5 or 10 minutes doesn't mean losing those 5 or 10 minutes. That means that you are really paying attention to what your students need. And this also takes me to something that was really difficult for me, which was being flexible. Most of the time there are things going on in the school. There are some other activities, or your students are taking extracurriculars, or I don't know, the anniversary of the school. There are always things happen that will make you to postpone your class or your activities. So just be aware and be okay with being flexible. At the end of the day, what matters is for the students to achieve your lesson aim, your unit aim, and if you do that, then everything is fine.